Hello everyone, welcome to UN College Digital Class. I am Manisha Manashwini Padhi, lecturer in the Department of MCom in Finance and Control. So I am covering your banking and insurance portion. In my previous videos lectures, I have already discussed a lot of things regarding banking and insurance part. Okay, so in my today's video lecture, I will discuss the functions which are being performed by the commercial bank. Okay, so let us start with today's video lecture. So functions of a commercial bank. First one is the primary functions. Primary functions of commercial bank are also known as acid test functions of a commercial bank. The followings are the primary functions of a commercial bank. So before going to functions of a commercial bank, let us understand again what is a bank. Okay, so I have already discussed this, that a bank is a financial institution which accepts money from those who have surplus of money and provides loan to those who have deficit of money. Okay, so for example, I have 50,000 rupees available with me, but I need only 20,000 rupees now. So the rest 30,000 rupees I will deposit in a bank so that I can earn interest on that particular amount. Keep that 30,000 rupees in my home and in my cupboard, that will not give me any kind of return. Even after 10 years, that amount will be that same, which is 30,000. But if I deposit that in a commercial bank, then I will get return for that particular 30,000. Okay. Similarly, there is a person who needs 20,000 rupees to do something or for doing his personal work, etc. So he doesn't have that money. So he can go to a bank and apply for loan, and once the loan gets sanctioned, he can get 20,000 rupees. Okay. So this is the basic function of a commercial bank, that is accepts money from those who have surplus of money or extra money and provides loan to those who have deficit of money or less amount of money. Okay. So banks play a very important role in our economy. It helps in mobilizing our resources, it helps in the economic development of the country, it invests in different capital intensive techniques, government projects, etc. Okay. So these are the functions, different categories of functions are there. So we can divide the functions of a commercial bank into different parts like primary function, secondary function, agency and utility function, modern function, etc. So we will discuss these functions one by one. First of all, we will discuss what is primary function. Primary function is the most important function which is performed by the commercial bank. Okay, that is why primary function is otherwise known as acid test function. Okay, so this is the basic function which every bank need to perform. So let us understand, let us know what are the different primary functions which are performed by a commercial bank. So first primary function is accepting deposits. Deposits constitute the major source of funds for bank. The banks collect money from those who have surplus of money. The deposit must be in terms of money and not of other asset. So obviously I have already told this to you that the banks collect money, the bank pools money from those people who have surplus of money or extra amount of money, and that particular deposit should be in terms of money and not of other asset. So in my previous video lecture I have discussed there is a point in the features of bank that banks deals in money. So as bank is a financial institution, this only deals in money. So bank collects deposit from those people who have extra amount of money available with them. So people can deposit their cash in their cash balances in either of the following accounts as per the requirement. So there are different kinds of accounts available in which deposits can be made. So the accounts are like this: fixed deposit account, current deposit account, saving deposit account, and last one is the recurring deposit account. So let us understand what does these accounts mean. So first of all, understand what is fixed deposit account. As the name suggests, the amount deposited in fixed deposit account is fixed for a particular period. That period can be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, etc. So fixed deposit account is maintained for a particular year, more than a year. Okay, so before expiry expiry of that particular period, we cannot withdraw that particular amount. That is why that account is known as fixed deposit account, where the deposits are fixed. Okay. So, as this is based on a certain time period, 1 year, 2 year or 3 year, etc., then fixed deposit account is otherwise known as time deposit account. In fixed deposit account, the interest rate which is given to the customer is higher as compared to other accounts. Okay. As the amount gets deposited with the bank for a longer period of time, then this is the responsibility of the bank to provide higher amount of interest on that particular fixed deposit account. Okay. So, fixed deposit acts as a kind of saving in the time of contingency situation. So, this is what we understand about fixed deposit account. Next one is our current deposit account, which is otherwise known as current account. This is the account which is usually held by business person. Obviously, we all know that business person have a lot of transaction going on every day. So, every day they have to deposit some amount in a bank, they have to withdraw some amount of a bank. That is not for that is also not for one time in a day. They deposit a lot of amount in different intervals, regular intervals. So, they also withdraw certain amounts in regular intervals. So, for their convenience, for the convenience of the business persons, current accounts are being opened. This facilities is provided by the bank for the business persons. Okay. So, one remarkable point regarding this current account holder is that in current account, if I am a business person and I am opening a current account in a bank, I will not get any kind of return from that. I will not get any kind of interest from that particular amount. Okay. But there is a facility which is provided to the current account holders, that is called overdraft. Okay. So, what is overdraft? In this, what is being done? If I am a business person and I am having 50,000 rupees available in my current account, I went to somewhere for purchasing a machinery or something, and that machinery costs rupees 80,000, but I don't have 80,000 rupees in my account. In that case, I can use my overdraft facility. The extra 30,000 rupees will be paid by the bank to that particular seller, and that 30,000 I will pay back to the bank according to my convenience. So, this is the basic facility, very important facility which is provided to current account holders, that is the business persons. Here no interest is given, but here overdraft facility is given. Third one is our saving deposit account. Saving deposit account is basically opened by the household having less amount of income, but they want to invest somewhere, so they open a savings account. Okay. Here the savings account holders will also get some kind of return on their savings, but that return is less as compared to the return on fixed deposit account. Okay. So, nowadays this rate of return, rate of interest on savings account is likely about 4.5% to 5%. Okay. So, this is savings account which has less amount of return, but it has guaranteed return. From savings account, we can withdraw amount whenever we want. We can use our ATM cards, our credit cards, etc. So, credit card facility is provided on savings account and overdraft facility is provided on current account. Okay. Last one is our recurring deposit account. What does the word recurring means? Recurring means again and again or repeatedly. So, recurring deposit account is an account which is opened by the people who are salaried, who get their salary every month. Okay. Here we instruct our banks that every month you will deduct from my account 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, etc. This is also for a longer period, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, etc. But here at a time we are not giving 1 lakh, 2 lakh or 3 lakh rupees with the bank. We are providing that money in shorter spans, in shorter amount, in small amount like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, etc. Okay. So, fixed deposit and recurring deposit are near about same, but in fixed deposit at a time we are giving a huge amount of money, but in recurring deposit we give small amount of money every month. Okay. So, these are the deposits account which are being opened by the customer. These are different kind of account which can be opened for a customer. So accepting deposit is the first and foremost function of a commercial bank. Let us go through next function. Next one is advancing loans. Another primary function of the commercial bank is to advance loans. A certain part of the cash received by the bank as deposits is kept in the reserve and remaining is given as loan. So after accepting deposit, advancing loan is the most important function because loan is the particular asset from which the bank earns profit. Okay. So whatever amount the banks get deposited by the depositors, from that deposit amount a certain percentage is being kept by the banks as reserve, and the remaining part of the deposit is being given as loan, is disbursed as loan. Different kind of loans are also available like short term, medium term and long term, etc. So this depends upon the stability of the bank and the financial position of the bank, that how much loan and which type of loan is being given by the commercial bank. So banks advance loans mostly for productive purposes against approved security. The amount of loan is generally less than the value of security. So obviously if I am applying for a loan of 2 lakh rupees, so in order to get that particular kind of loan, I need to give a certain kind of security or certain kind of mortgage with that particular bank. Amount of that particular mortgage should be higher than the amount of loan. Generally this is the basic principle. So except advancing loan, we have different examples of advancing loan like money at call and overdrafts, etc. I made this point clear. Overdraft which is being given on current account. Then what is money at call? So what is money at call? Money at call is otherwise known as call money market. So here what happens, a particular bank, a branch of a particular bank, if needs money in emergency, in contingency, it gets loan from another bank and returns that particular loan with the amount of interest within 1 to 14 days. Okay. So this is a very short term market. This is a kind of money market. Okay. So this market is known as money at call and short notice or call money market. Third one is creation of credit. So creation of credit is a very important function because creating credit mobilizes the saving of public and gives profit to the commercial bank. When a bank advances loan or credit, it does not lend cash but opens an account in favor of the customer and credits the amount to the account. Credit creation is a very important function of commercial bank. So what is credit creation? Credit creation means creating loan capabilities. Okay. So the amount which gets deposited with the commercial bank by the depositor, some kind of reserve is being kept by the commercial bank for emergency situation. Basically two types of reserve are being kept. First one is CRR, second one is SLR. CRR stands for cash reserve ratio and SLR stands for statutory liquidity ratio. So CRR is being kept with the Reserve Bank of India on behalf of the commercial bank, and the SLR, which is statutory liquidity ratio, is being kept with the commercial bank itself. So after deducting the CRR amount and SLR amount, the rest part is being given as loan, is being disbursed as loan. When a bank sanctions loan to a person, it does not give whole amount to that person in cash. Okay. Banks open an account in the name of that particular person and the loan amount is being transferred to that person's account. Okay. So this is the meaning of, this is the process of credit creation. Next is collection and payment of credit. Banks also make payment on behalf of the customers like payment of rents, income tax, fees, insurance premium, etc. For this, customers have to leave standing instruction with the bank. So banks also act as agent of the customer. So if I want to make my bank do some kind of duties on behalf of me like my rent payment, my income tax payment, my fees payment, payment of insurance premium, etc., banks will also perform this kind of function. But For availing this service, I have to leave some kind of instruction with the bank that this is my premium date, this is my premium paying date, this is my rent paying date, this is my tax paying date. So, you have to pay rent on my behalf, or you have to pay income tax on my behalf, etc. So, this is the agency and utility function of the commercial bank. Next one is our purchase and sell of securities. The modern commercial banks also undertake the purchase and sell of various securities like shares, stocks, bonds, units and debenture, etc. on behalf of the customer. So, banks not only perform agency services but also perform utility services. Banks also provide different kind of utilities to the customer. So, if I want to trade in equity share market, or if I want to purchase preference share or stocks or bonds or debts, etc., I can leave standing instruction with my bank that you have to do share trading on behalf of me. This is the maximum ceiling on which I can bet, on which I can purchase. This is the minimum ceiling in which I have to sell the shares. Okay. So, according to the instruction of the customer, banks perform the utility services and bank purchases and sells the securities on the behalf of customers. Next one is our locker facilities. We all of us know regarding this. Every bank have some kind of locker available in their branches. Here the customers keep their valuable amounts, their valuable assets, so that those assets can be in a safe custody and the amount of getting robbed or getting theft is less. Okay. So, banks provide locker facilities to their customers. People can keep their gold or silver jewelry or other important documents like will papers, etc. Okay, in these lockers at a very nominal annual rent. In this way, bank accepts the valuable articles and documents for safe custody. So, if I want to avail the locker facilities from a particular bank, I have to pay a very nominal annual rent, which is paid annually or yearly. Okay. So, I will pay the rent and my valuables, my gold, silver, jewelry, my important documents is being kept in the safe custody of the bank. Next one is our bullion trading. The commercial banks trade in bullions like gold and silver in many countries. So, what do you mean by bullion trading? Bullion trading means investing in gold and silver of different countries. As we do trading in stock exchanges regarding equity share, preference share, stocks, debts, etc. Similarly, in bullion market, in bullion trading, we invest in gold and silver, etc. Okay. So, commercial banks like SBI, IOB, Canara Bank and Allahabad Bank have been allowed to import of gold, which has been put under open general license category in October 1997. Okay. So, in October 1997, the commercial banks like SBI, State Bank of India, Indian Overseas Bank, Canara Bank and Allahabad Bank got allowed to import gold under general license category. So, bullion trading is also performed by different commercial banks. Every commercial bank has not got the permission for doing bullion trading, but there are some banks which are allowed to do bullion trading. Next one is the mobilization of savings. Banks collect idle savings of the people and invest the same in productive activities. Banks help in accelerating the rate of capital by formation in the country by mobilizing the savings. So, whatever deposit is being done by the depositor in a bank, that is not kept idle by the commercial bank. Banks collect the savings and invest them in different kind of productive activities like capital intensive projects, government projects, foreign investments, etc. Okay. So, this is how banks helps in the acceleration of the rate of capital formation in the country. So, banks accelerates the capital formation of a particular country. So, the development of a country depends upon the effectiveness and efficiency of the commercial bank of that particular country. Next one is providing loans to weaker section. Obviously, this is very important for financial inclusion. So, banks give loan to weaker section of the society at low rate of interest. So weaker section of the society refers to small artisans, landless, agricultural laborers and poor classes get cheap loans from the commercial bank. So this weaker section of the society get loans at a cheap rate of interest, so then they can start their business or they can run their business. So these are the agency and utility services performed by a commercial bank. Okay, first we discuss the primary function, next we discuss the agency and utility functions. Now we will discuss the modern functions or innovative functions which are performed by the commercial bank. These modern functions are very familiar to us. We are using these functions every day. So let us understand. So modern functions involve these functions like debit cards, credit cards, internet banking, mobile banking, round the clock banking, foreign exchange, online trading, online tax payment, etc. So in modern function, first there comes debit cards and credit cards. So all of us use the debit cards, which is otherwise known as ATM cards. ATM is the full form of ATM is automatic teller machine. Okay. So in debit card, we can use the amount which is being kept, which is being deposited by us in our savings account. Okay. So if my savings account has 50,000 rupees available with me, so I can expend only up to that particular amount. But in credit card, if I am having credit card of that particular bank and I want to expend more amount than which is available in my account, okay, I can do that. I have some kind of extension available. Okay. So if I have 50,000 rupees in my account but I have credit card, I can expend up to 70,000 rupees according to the permission of that commercial bank. So this is the basic difference between the debit card and credit card. Next comes our internet banking and mobile banking. What is the difference between internet banking and mobile banking? Let us understand. Mobile banking refers to doing banking transaction through the mobile application of a particular bank. If there is a bank, ICICI Bank, we can use the mobile application of that particular bank, which is iMobile. Okay. But what is internet banking? In internet banking, if I want to do banking transaction for my bank, which is ICICI Bank, I have to go through website of ICICI Bank, that is the www.icicibank.co.in. Okay. So this is the basic difference between mobile banking and internet banking. In mobile banking, we are using the mobile application of that particular bank, but in internet banking, we are using the website of that particular bank. Next one is the round the clock banking, and round the clock banking means 24/7 banking services are available for us. We can do any kind of transaction by sitting at our homes. Okay. Next one is our foreign exchange. Obviously, banks perform foreign exchange services which are being permitted by the central government of our country. Next one is online trading and online tax payment. Online trading means we can do share transaction, we can purchase and sell equity share, preference shares, etc. So banks, so we are permitted by our banks to do those online trading activities. Okay. Last one is our online tax payment. So all of us know that there is a particular time at which every person earning more than a certain amount has to pay tax to the central government. So we can pay tax by sitting at our homes, or we can instruct our bank to pay tax on our behalf. So these are the modern function or innovative function which are performed by the commercial bank. So commercial bank is very important in for the growth and development of a country. Okay. So commercial banks are also performing various functions for the development of the country and the well-being of the customers or public. I hope you have understood the functions of a commercial bank. In my next class, I will discuss further. I will discuss the next part. Thank you so much for watching.